Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to another episode of Suhoor Bites, where we take a few moments each morning to reflect on the wisdom of the Qur'an. In these blessed moments before dawn, as we nourish our bodies for the day of fasting ahead, let us also feed our souls with the light of divine guidance. Each day we'll reflect on a verse from the Qur'an, drawing inspiration and lessons to carry with us throughout the day. Today we will be looking at Surah Al-Furqan, verse 30, where Allah says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. وقال الرسول يا ربي إن قومي اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا. And the messenger will say, O my Lord, indeed my people have abandoned this Qur'an. This verse refers to a complaint the Prophet will have on the Day of Judgment about his ummah. It carries a very strong message, and although it was addressed to the people of the Prophet's era, it has a timeless message that resonates with every generation, including ours. It is a message in which the Prophet laments to Allah that the book that was revealed to him for the Muslims has been abandoned and neglected. It is a statement in which the Prophet is highlighting that the Muslim community has failed to honor the divine communication they were blessed with. But what does it mean to abandon and neglect the Qur'an? Some understand this abandonment merely as failing to read its pages. Others say it means reciting the text without understanding or reflection. You might see the Qur'an perched high on a shelf, taken down only for ceremonial occasions or the occasional recitation competition, but never allowed to speak to the heart's concerns or the struggles of daily life. In each case, the Qur'an remains present physically, but absent from our thoughts and actions. Some commentators go further, suggesting that it's possible to study the meanings of the Qur'an yet ignore its moral imperatives, choosing convenience or cultural habits over its guidance in personal, social, and ethical matters. So we have varying levels of neglect, but they all converge on one core idea. The Qur'an is not being used as the living guide it was meant to be. The verse shows that the Prophet bringing this complaint before Allah emphasizes the seriousness of the matter and the pain it personally causes him. It shows a sadness on the part of the Prophet, who dedicated himself to teaching and living the Qur'an's message, only to witness many of his people disregard it. Why might this happen to us? Sometimes the Qur'an is seen as an ancient book, overshadowed by technology and contemporary knowledge. Or people might feel it's too difficult to grasp, even though numerous translations and commentaries are available to help us. Others may genuinely believe in the Qur'an's divinity, but become caught up in a hectic schedule of worldly pursuits, forgetting to find time for reflection. In all these scenarios, the result is the same. The Qur'an is sidelined from daily life. Some commentators of the Qur'an highlight that it was revealed not just to be read, but to be reflected upon and integrated into every facet of existence. If we are only reading it in Arabic without any attempt to delve into its meanings, we might miss its timeless wisdom. If we are only reading it in Arabic without any attempt to delve into its meanings, we might miss its timeless wisdom. If we read translations but never connect them to real-life challenges, like how to deal with anger, how to show compassion, or how to maintain honesty in business, we risk treating the Qur'an as an abstract text rather than a practical compass. Let's consider the ways we might be falling short of our responsibility to the divine messages found within the Qur'an. First, do we read the Qur'an regularly or only in Ramadhan or that special gathering? If it's the latter, perhaps we need a more consistent daily or weekly schedule, even if it's just a few verses at a time, just to build a familiarity with the Holy Book. Second, when we read, do we pause to digest what's being said? Perhaps we can keep a small notepad in which we note down verses that we may resonate with on a day, such as verses about patience, justice, mercy, or accountability. Think about how these concepts apply to our own attitudes and behaviors. The next layer goes beyond reading and reflection. It is implementation. A question we might ask is, when was the last time I faced a moral dilemma and turned to the Qur'an for guidance? If we find that we rely more on social media or popular culture for advice, we may be allowing the Qur'an to remain on the sidelines. The Qur'an speaks to universal human themes: conflict resolution, dealing with hardship, seeking forgiveness, fostering unity. Its verses offer direction on issues that societies have grappled with for centuries. So the real question is whether we have the commitment to consult and follow its direction. Some of you may ask, if the Qur'an is so central, why do I find parts of it so difficult? Many commentators suggest that some level of struggle is normal. The Qur'an itself states that reflection, seeking knowledge and pondering creation are part of the believer's journey. We are encouraged to approach the text with sincerity, humble questioning, and the readiness to learn. Just as we invest in acquiring worldly skills or academic qualifications, investing time to understand the Qur'an is an act of worship that yields immeasurable returns. Another point often emphasized is that we do not have to undertake this journey alone. Family study sessions, attending local tafsir classes, or joining online communities can help us stay motivated and delve deeper. By discussing verses with others, we benefit from shared insights and experiences, making the Qur'an feel more immediately relevant. This communal approach also helps protect us from the risk of misinterpretation or reading verses out of context, which can be another form of abandonment by twisting or selectively applying the Qur'an to suit personal desires. When we sense the Prophet's sadness in verse 30 of Surah Al-Furqan, it should prompt an urgent question: do I want to be among those causing him this pain, or among those who comfort his heart by honouring the Qur'an? It's a question that cuts right to the essence of our faith. Loving the Prophet isn't just about sentiments or celebrating his life. It's about treasuring and living by the very book he brought us. Surely one of the best ways to show love is by giving the Qur'an a central place in our routines, our decision making, and our moral framework. Perhaps a final reflection is that the Qur'an, as the divine speech, remains vibrant and capable of illuminating any age or society. Neglecting it is not just a breach of loyalty to the Prophet, it's a missed opportunity for personal growth, for discovering solutions to social issues, and for finding genuine tranquility in a chaotic world. By taking small, consistent steps, we can rejuvenate our bond with this revelation and find deeper meaning in our lives by connecting to Allah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد أضلني عن الذكر بعد إذ جاءني وكان الشيطان للإنسان خذولا وقال الرسول يا رب إن قومي اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا من المجرمين وكفى بربك